Evan Carter, a human mechanic stationed on Starbase HFY, where humans and alien nobles rarely mix. Evan is fixing a damaged shuttle when armed royal guards suddenly surround him. Before he can ask why, they scan him, confirm his identity, and order him to come with them immediately. Evan thinks he's being arrested for something he didn't do. The guards give no explanation. They escort him into a massive royal cruiser, the kind that normal humans are never allowed to even touch. As the doors shut behind him, the atmosphere becomes cold and formal. Everyone on the ship keeps staring at him with a mix of shock and curiosity. When they reach the throne hall, the lights dim, and Queen Sarathia of the Avarian Empire appears. She is tall, powerful, and intimidating, with dark gemstone eyes that seem to see everything. Before Evan can speak, the Queen's voice echoes through the hall. "Human Evan Carter, prepare yourself. You will become my daughter's husband." The hall turns silent. Evan's heart nearly stops. He has never even met the princess. The guards drop to one knee. The Queen's expression doesn't change. She looks as if her words are absolute law. Evan tries to speak, but the Queen raises her hand and continues. "My daughter's life is in danger. An ancient law says her mate must be someone with no royal blood. Someone impossible to predict. You are that person." Evan realizes he is not being asked. He is being chosen. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Evan Carter never expected his day to change so suddenly. He was simply repairing an old cargo shuttle outside Dock C on HFY Starbase, a busy place where humans and aliens traded goods, fuel and stories. Evan liked quiet work. He liked machines because machines were honest. They never lied, never betrayed, and never made impossible demands. But on this day everything changed. He had just tightened a bolt on the engine panel when a shadow fell over him. Evan turned slowly and froze. 6 armored royal guards stood in a circle around him. Their armor was black with glowing silver lines. Their helmets had sharp edges and a symbol shaped like a burning star. Everyone on HFY recognized that symbol. The Avarian Royal Guard. The most feared soldiers in this quadrant. Evan's heart started pounding. He dropped his wrench. Can I help you?" he asked, trying to sound brave. The guards didn't answer. One pointed a scanning device at him. A blue light swept over his face, then his body. Another guard checked a holographic screen. He nodded sharply. "Identity confirmed," the guard said. "You will come with us." Evan blinked. "For what? Did I break something? I swear the shuttle belonged to a merchant." "Silence," the guard ordered. "Your presence is requested by the royal throne." Evan almost laughed, but the guards didn't look like they enjoyed jokes. "Requested by who?" he asked. The guard stepped forward, voice deep and cold. "Her Majesty, Queen Sarathia of the Avarian Empire." Evan felt everything inside him freeze. "The Queen? What does the Queen want with me?" he whispered. None of the guards answered. 2 grabbed him by the arms, not roughly, but firmly enough to show he had no choice. They marched him across the docking bay. Workers, pilots, and traders stopped and stared. Humans rarely interacted with the Avarians. Being taken by royal guards was unheard of. "What did he do?" someone whispered. "Is he a criminal? Maybe he touched something sacred." Evan wished he knew the answer himself. They entered a massive royal transport vessel. Its interior glowed with soft blue light. Everything was polished, elegant, and expensive. Evan felt like he was walking inside a piece of high art. The doors slammed shut. Engines hummed. The ship launched. Evan hadn't even been given a chance to grab his tools, his jacket, or even ask permission to leave. They moved through hallway after hallway until they reached enormous golden doors. The guards pushed them open and led Evan inside a chamber bigger than any building he had ever seen. Long pillars reached the ceiling. A glowing pool of silver water sat in the center. Strange birds with crystal wings flew in circles. And at the far end, She sat on a throne of living vines and crystal. Queen Serathia. Regal. Her hair shimmered like white flame. Her eyes, cold and sharp, were the color of deep amethyst. Evan felt small under her gaze. Smaller than he had ever felt in his life. He opened his mouth to speak, but words failed him. The Queen lifted a hand. The room fell silent. "Human Evan Carter," she said, her voice echoing like thunder made of silk. "Step forward." Evan swallowed hard and took a shaky step. Then another. And another. He stopped at the bottom of the throne steps. He bowed awkwardly. "Your Majesty, I think there has been a mistake." "There is no mistake," she replied, her tone final. "I summoned you for a purpose." Evan blinked, confused. The Queen stood slowly, her robes flowing like mist. She looked down at him. Then she spoke 6 words that destroyed the peace of his normal life. "Prepare yourself. You will become my daughter's husband." Everything in the hall went silent. Even the birds stopped flying. Evan stared with his mouth open. I'm sorry, what?" The Queen continued as if she were discussing the weather. "My daughter, Princess Arya, requires a mate. A threat looms over her life. Only one who is unpredictable, unconnected to royal blood, and unknown to our enemies can protect her." Evan shook his head rapidly. No, I'm just a mechanic. Fix ships. I don't do royal weddings or marriages or—" "You do now," the Queen said firmly. Evan felt dizzy. He looked around the hall, hoping someone would laugh and say it was a mistake. But every guard kept their head bowed. Every advisor stayed silent. Everyone accepted this as normal. "But why me?" Evan whispered. The Queen stepped closer. Her presence was overwhelming. "Because you come from a world far outside our political reach," she said. "Your mind is different. Your instincts are different. You cannot be predicted. You cannot be controlled." He paused. "And the prophecy speaks clearly. Only a stranger of forgotten blood shall walk beside the moon-born heir." "Prophecy?" Evan muttered, horrified. The Queen nodded. "You fit every requirement." "That doesn't make sense," Evan shouted before he could stop himself. The guards tensed, but the Queen raised a hand to calm them. Evan ran a hand through his hair. He tried to slow his breathing. "Your Majesty, I'm honored, but I don't know your daughter. I've never met her. I've done nothing to deserve this." The Queen's eyes softened just a little. "My daughter's safety is more important than your comfort, human." Evan felt his heart sink. This wasn't a request. This was a command. Before he could think of another protest, the Queen turned and walked back to her throne. "Guards, take him to Princess Arya. She is waiting." Evan was escorted out of the hall. He felt numb, like he was dreaming. The walk to the princess's wing was long. The halls became more decorative, filled with floating lights, glowing murals, and crystal windows that showed the stars outside. Everyone they passed stared at him. Some whispered, "A human. Is he the chosen one? He looks weak." Maybe that is what the prophecy meant. Evan wished he could disappear. Finally, they reached a tall door engraved with swirling silver vines. The guards tapped their spears on the floor. The doors opened. Inside was a quiet, peaceful room filled with star maps, books, plants, and a small waterfall. Evan expected to see a powerful, strict princess, someone like her mother but younger. Instead, sitting calmly on a floating chair, studying a star chart, was a girl who didn't look dangerous at all. Princess Arya. She had long silver hair tied loosely behind her. Her eyes glowed warm gold, but there was strength inside them. Deep, hidden strength. She wore simple clothing instead of royal armor. Her presence was calm but sharp, like a blade wrapped in silk. She looked up when Evan entered. Her eyes studied him quietly. "So," she said after a moment, "you're the one my mother chose." Her voice was gentle but sassy at the same time. Evan stood frozen. Yes," he said weakly. Arya tilted her head. "You don't look very ready." I'm not, he admitted. She closed the star map and stood. She was taller than he expected, almost as tall as her mother. But unlike the queen, Arya's expression held curiosity instead of judgment. Evan tried to explain. I don't know why I'm here. I don't understand the prophecy or the danger or why me or anything. Fix ships. That's all I do. Arya walked toward him, stopping a few steps away. That might be exactly why you are here, she said softly. Someone normal. Someone simple. Someone who cannot be used by the royal families. Used? Evan repeated. Arya nodded. There are many who want control of the throne. Many who want me dead. If I choose a noble mate, he will betray me. If I choose a warrior, he will become a target. Pause. If I choose a human, the balance shifts. Evan rubbed his forehead. I still think this is a terrible mistake. Arya gave him a small smile. I also did not expect my future partner to be a human mechanic with messy hair. Evan instinctively tried to flatten his hair. Arya giggled. Her laugh was warm and gentle. Nothing like the cold royal hall. Relax, she said. I don't like this either. But I accept it. Evan opened his mouth to respond, but suddenly, alarm sirens erupted across the ship. Red lights flashed. The floor vibrated. A deep voice echoed through the speakers. Alert! Enemy attack! All royal units prepare for combat. Arya's face turned serious instantly. She grabbed a glowing weapon from the wall, an elegant energy blade that lit up like a comet. Evan stepped back. What's happening? They found me, Arya said, eyes narrowing. Already? Who found you? The ones who want the prophecy broken, she said. Before Evan could react, the door behind them exploded. A wave of smoke filled the room. Figures in black armor stormed in, weapons raised. Arya pulled Evan behind her and whispered, Stay close. If they capture me, you die first. The first attacker charged. Arya met him with a swift strike, her blade slicing through the air with bright light. Evan pressed himself against the wall, heart pounding, as more intruders pushed forward. The room shook. The enemy kept coming. Arya fought fiercely, but there were too many. One of them aimed a weapon at Evan. Arya shouted, Move! Evan dove to the floor as a blast of energy scorched the wall behind him. Arya grabbed his hand. We can't fight them all, she said urgently. Run! She pulled him through a side door as the intruders chased them. The hallway shook from explosions. Smoke filled the air. Alarms kept screaming. Evan stumbled out of breath. Where are we going? To the emergency tunnels, Arya answered. They lead away from my quarters. It's our only chance. Another explosion rocked the ground. Evan nearly fell. Arya caught his arm and pulled him forward. Behind them, the sound of metal breaking and enemies shouting echoed down the hallway. Arya looked back. Her golden eyes flashed with determination and a hint of fear. She whispered, Human, if you want to survive. Prove that my mother wasn't wrong to choose you. And then, the enemy soldiers appeared at the end of the hall, their weapons aimed directly at Evan and Arya. Evan Carter's heart was hammering in his chest as he ran through the emergency tunnels with Princess Arya. The lights flickered, and the narrow corridors smelled of smoke and burnt metal. The sounds of the attack behind them, shouts, explosions, and the roar of energy weapons, echoed through the passageways. Evan stumbled over a fallen pipe. Arya grabbed his arm, steadying him. Focus, she whispered. Keep moving. Evan nodded, though fear made it hard to think clearly. He had never imagined that being chosen by an alien princess would include almost getting killed within the first hour. After what felt like an eternity, they reached a large maintenance chamber. The room was filled with tools, wires, and broken equipment. It smelled like oil and ozone. For a moment, Evan thought he might actually be safe, if only for a few minutes. Arya turned to him, eyes serious. We can't stay here long. They'll find us. Evan's mind was racing. Wait. I have nothing to fight with. I'm just a mechanic. I don't know how to. You have something I don't. Her eyes glinted. Quick thinking. Creativity. Human unpredictability. Before he could protest, an alarm in the room went off. Small drones, black and sharp like flying knives, descended from the ceiling. Aria's eyes widened.